Welcome everyone, I'm Kingly Valence, and thanks for watching the Spore Speedrun Challenge. This is Spore, completed from Cell Stage to the center of the galaxy, except we are speeding up the game. Starting up Cell Stage, and this is boring old normal speed. Boo, too slow. For this speedrun, we're gonna go fast. And thanks to Cheat Engine and activating the speedhack mechanic, we can run Spore at much higher speeds. Let's set Spore to run at 2 times speed. There we go, and now we're going a bit faster. And I'll put the speed multiplier window in the corner here, so we can always see how fast we're speeding up the game. Let's go even faster. 5 times speed. There, look at us go. We're zipping around, soaking up all the food in the ocean. This is actually kind of hard to steer our cell into food, and we're missing a lot of the food pieces. And the other cells are getting them too fast. Cheat Engine is making the entire game run faster, not just us. So to Spore, we are still swimming relatively slowly compared to the other cells, since we only have 1 flagella. 5 times speed may be fast, but we can go even faster. Prepare yourself, let's crank this up to 20 times speed. Whoa, let's go, get that food. I can't even steer our cell anymore. This is way too fast to play with. Let's calm this down. And I found playing at a modest 4 times speed was the most reasonable, where we could actually drive our cell into food without missing too often. So let's see how fast we can beat Cell Stage at 4 times speed. The world record for Cell Stage played at regular speed is exactly 3 minutes by Savage Brick at the time of recording. And this run of Cell Stage is incredibly fast and optimized. I recommend checking out this speedrun, because this took hundreds or maybe even thousands of attempts to complete. But since we are speeding up the game for this fun run, we should at least be able to beat this time. And sprinting our way through Cell Stage at 4 times speed, and we're able to evolve onto land in less than 2 minutes. Now we could continue from here and complete the rest of the game and reach the Galactic Core, but I have another idea. What happens if we just max out the speed multiplier and push Spore to absolutely as fast as it will go? Photosensitivity warning for this next part. Alright Cheat Engine, show me what you got. 100 times speed! Look at it go! We're going so fast! We're just running into food for free without even trying. We have tried this before in a previous video, where a cell just heads the same direction without even moving the mouse, and we found Cell Stage will complete on its own. Even as a pitiful worm on hard difficulty, eventually Cell Stage will pass without having to play the game at all. But will this be fast enough to beat our previous run? We have enough DNA for some upgrades, but getting into the editor is challenging. There we go. We can add a carnivore mouth to become an omnivore to eat any food we happen to stumble across. And we found in that previous video that the mouth size does impact our reach for food. With the smallest mouth, a plant piece can hit the front of the body without being eaten, but the largest mouth was able to grab food further away from the cell. So put the herbivore and carnivore mouths on the side of the cell body as large as possible to act like a net to catch all the incoming food. Back in the tide pool, and we just have to make sure our cell doesn't get stuck on anything. And if we see our cell run into something, we'll try to steer them out of the way. We're going to call a mate one more time during this run, once we hopefully unlock the cilia part, keeping an eye on the top left, and we can see our total parts unlocked. And just for a moment, we'll be able to see what parts were found. Thankfully, anytime we die, the respawn cutscene plays through without us needing to do anything, so Cell Stage will continuously play on its own. And that's Cell Stage complete in 50 seconds. Stopping just for a second to see the history timeline, and even though it only took us 1 minute to get here, our cell was in the tide pool for 5.8 billion years. And we can use the evolution clock to calculate the true in-game time this would have taken, since even though Cheat Engine was set to 100 times speed, we may not actually be able to push Spore that fast. Using this equation we found last time, for every 1 billion years on the evolution clock is about 5 minutes and 34 seconds. So allowing Cell Stage to run for 1 minute at maximum speed, without entering the editor since that time doesn't count towards the evolution clock, 1 minute passed in 8.7 billion years on the evolution clock. And plugging that 8.7 billion years into the equation, Cell Stage has actually been running for about 50 minutes. So my computer maxes out at around 50 times speed for Cell Stage. So maybe an even more powerful computer can beat Cell Stage even faster. Moving into the early creature editor, and we just need to add legs, then hold control to separate the limbs to make arms and legs. And we immediately start loading into creature stage. We're now going to run creature stage at 10 times speed, but this will still be plenty for this stage. Starting creature stage, and we're going to ally the first 2 nests, and we are quickly waddling over to them. The singing in the Simon Says is also sped up, making this a super fast ally. And at this speed we don't even need sprint to get to the next nest quickly. allying the second nest, and that passes the first part of creature stage. This run will be following the usual speedrun route, except we are going to be fully social. We are going to put all of the social parts on our creature, including level 2 pose, dance, charm, and sing. So we got the herbivore mouths, but as long as we keep our carnivore mouth from cell stage, our diet will still be omnivore for creature stage and tribal stage. It's funny, this is how I imagine Spore when I run through the game really quickly in my head. And seeing the creature being able to run around the continent really fast like this is pretty cool. And this really condenses the speedrun down to its essential parts, cutting out a lot of the walking time, but still showing where we're going and what we're doing. I think this can be a great practice tool for regular speedruns to memorize the full route and build up some muscle memory. During this next part of creature stage, we need to ally 3 more nests. However, these creatures can request more than just sing, so we need to be ready to respond to them as quickly as possible. When socializing with another creature, they will perform an action and raise their side of the social meter. However, if we wait too long, they will start to lose interest, and their side will slowly fall back down. This will make it even harder for us to ally the creature, because our side needs to reach all the way to where they've dropped down to, and the other creatures only have a limited number of Simon Says requests. There's normally a huge window to perform our social ability before they lose interest, but when we're running at 10 times speed, this doesn't give us very much time to react anymore. So when socializing with another creature, I have my fingers on the 1 through 4 keys, and I'm just looking directly at the other creature, reacting as quickly as possible to which ability they use. It's really important not to choose the wrong ability, since that won't give us nearly as much distance on the social meter, and we may not reach the top. Finishing up allying with the third nest, making sure to dance when they dance, and sing when they sing, and that brings us up to the next part of creature stage. For this speedrun route, I like to manually migrate to the next nest further into the continent. This way we don't have to travel all the way back to the shoreline, which would normally take a lot longer at regular speed. But at this new nest, there are also some bones for us to collect for some upgrades. Add a second pack mate, and call a mate to enter the editor, and that will make this our new home nest. In the editor, we are going to upgrade our social parts to level 3 pose, dance, and charm. However, we are going to upgrade the sing to level 4, since that's usually the most requested ability, and we can only afford to upgrade one part to level 4. Exiting the editor, and this activates the first migration sequence. There are 5 home nests on this continent. We started down here on the coastline, then manually migrated to this second nest. Now with our first migration mission, we will head to this nest further into the continent, then finish at this nest on the coastline for our second required migration later in creature stage. Also normally, this is the part of creature stage where we would switch to being fully combat focused. However, with the game sped up this much, we would get completely destroyed before we even knew what happened. But being fully social for this sped up run is much safer, and we only need to match the other creatures to ally them. When we ally these creatures, I'll usually try to avoid the other creatures that are grouped together, as they'll call for other members to help socialize with them, which normally takes forever for them to all get assembled. But with everything sped up, we don't really have to worry about how long anything usually takes. As long as we are successful in matching the Simon Says, that'll be good enough. Making our way through creature stage and allying everyone we find, and avoiding all the scary creatures, we have one more nest to go. And this is how I sound in my head when I'm trying to socialize with these creatures at these crazy speeds. It sounds a little bit like this. Okay, there's a creature. Okay, they're recruiting. Okay, dance 2, spin for charm 3, spin for charm 3 again, and sing 1. Got it, next. Okay, there's another creature. Okay, they're recruiting their creatures. Press 2 for dance again, and spin for charm 3. Got it, next. Okay, last one. Okay, sing 1 again, and dance 2, and we're done. It takes a lot of focus to get this done quickly. Running creature stage any faster, and there's no way my brain could keep up in time. But thankfully, we're out of creature stage in only 6 minutes. We're making great time compared to the real record. But moving into tribal stage, and now we're going to increase the speed, now up to 12 times speed. There isn't as much timing accuracy in tribal stage, so we can run Spore even faster to cut down on walking time. We're still going to add the level 3 gathering and social gear on our tribe members. And now we just need to wait for our tribe members to gather food so we can buy some babies and our first instrument. I'm not even going to bother with the baby duplication trick, since we'll be able to get a bunch of food super quickly. They're almost back with even more food, and that's enough to place down our wooden horns and give our band members their instruments and head towards the first tribe. Tribal stage is a bit interesting when sped up, because the performances themselves aren't actually any faster. The way Cheat Engine speeds up the game doesn't speed up the audio, including the performance song, and the game will stay in sync with the song when we perform. We can hear the song like normal, and the instrument requests will happen at the usual intervals. Regardless of how fast the game is sped up, these performances always take about the same amount of time. But once we ally the tribe, we are still going to do the progression canceling trick to prevent unlocking any more instruments. And since we are sped up just to be safe, we can pause the game right when they become allies, right-click the ground to finish the performance, then save with Ctrl and S on the keyboard, unpause and let the cutscenes play, then quit back to the main menu, this time without saving, and reload the game. This will keep us from unlocking and needing to buy any more instruments, so we can just head straight to the next tribe. Red tribe is being attacked by an epic, so we'll just avoid them and head over to blue tribe, since walking time doesn't really matter. Blue tribe is angry with us, and we didn't keep any food back home, so we can't give any gifts. However, we have the firework ability from being social during creature stage. As soon as our tribe members arrive, quickly use the fireworks so they don't fight each other, and we can start performing. Another interesting effect of this sped up run is even though the performance will take the normal amount of time, the fireworks recharge time is still super quick. I'm getting our tribe members ready at the next tribe, and whoa, they're fighting! Fireworks! Fireworks! There we go. Phew! Wow, we lost 2 tribe members right there. That was a close one. Still need to be careful. Something can always go wrong, and it can happen really fast at these speeds. That was lucky we didn't lose the whole run right there. But 3 wooden horns should hopefully still be enough to ally these remaining tribes. Since we aren't keeping any food for gifts, we have to use the fireworks on 3 tribes during this run. I just sent them over a little too early, and we're going to use the progression canceling trick with each of these tribes as well. But what's also interesting is the bonus distance on the performance meter that we get from our level 3 social gear is given all at once, which is what we were seeing here at the start of the performance. But now that we are out of bonus distance, everything else is from the instruments themselves. And here the performance bar isn't moving for free anymore. Allying the 12-member tribe, and I was a little worried we wouldn't have enough performance power with only 3 band members. We only get 5 instrument requests per performance. And we're really close to the end, and we got it. Blasting through these cutscenes and into the City Hall editor. And we'll make the fastest possible vehicle as well with 45 speed, and head into Civilization stage in under 10 minutes. Starting Civilization stage, and we'll stay at 12 times speed here as well. And 1 vehicle is plenty to capture all the spice geysers. We just need to make sure we avoid all the epics, and we almost got all the spice geysers already. The first city will spawn, and we'll send our first group of tanks over. Even with our fast but not very powerful tanks, they still captured super quickly. But from here, we are going to use these slow but powerful vehicles. Since we are sped up so much, the time it takes for them to arrive at the next city is still faster than a fast vehicle at normal speed. And since these tanks are more powerful, that lets them capture almost instantly. And keeping the vehicles the same from here will also save time not needing to switch them between fast and powerful vehicles. But the route for Civilization stage is very similar to the regular speedrun, and is another good stage where playing sped up can really help drill down the route and build muscle memory for new runners. Our boats will also capture the other cities on the far coastline, and we can make more tanks to finish the rest of the cities on this continent. Capturing our 9th city, and they should surrender any second, and that completes Civilization stage in just over a minute. Making our way into Space stage, and now we are working towards reaching the Galactic Core at the center of the galaxy. We just have to complete the first tutorial mission, where we scan the crashed ship and destroyed cities. The crashed ship is always in the same spot on the minimap, and clicking on that location is a bit easier than flying over to it this sped up. Then we can just hold to scan this time, and make our way out of the star system. And here is the only time we're going to play Spore at normal 1 time speed, while we click back and forth to unlock the Frequent Flyer 2 badge. Faster game speeds don't help much here, since this is entirely based on our clicking speed. And playing at a faster game speed will move the stars around more, making it harder to click on. So this part will be played just like normal. After unlocking Frequent Flyer 2, we are going to set Spore back to 5 times speed. Running Space Stage faster at all is pretty risky in making it crash. I found that running Space Stage at 10 times speed will make it crash fairly often. But running only 5 times speed is a bit safer, but still runs a pretty good risk of crashing. But if we speedrun fast enough, we might be able to outrun the crashes. And 5 times speed is also plenty for Space Stage, as this makes the driving pretty quick, but the communication panels will also only go as fast as we click through them. Now I said earlier that during the Frequent Flyer was the only time we'll be running at normal speed, and that's correct. This means we'll be driving through the Grox Territory sped up as well. Driving through the Grox at normal speed is scary enough as it is, but here we are going to make our Grox run at 2 times speed. Remember, just like in Cell Stage, where all the other cells were sped up around us, all the Grox spaceships will also be sped up as well. So we're going to have to quickly drive through Grox Territory with the entire Grox fleet chasing at us at double the speed, at the very end of the speedrun. I did practice this part in particular a bit more before starting full runs. I'm like 95% confident I'll make it through at normal speed, but after practicing at 2 times speed, my success rate was maybe only 70%, and this was a really good run up to this point, but there's a chance we lose it all. The speed increase is definitely worth the time save, so I had to include the speed up for this run. Plus I knew everyone would want to see a sped up Grox run during a sped up speed run. So here we go, here's the whole Grox run. At the time I'm telling myself I know this path, I've done it probably over 100 times now, I just have to click on the stars. Oh, and I clicked the communication button, pause just for a second to get my bearings. Okay, we're good. Quickly press escape to dismiss the Warmonger unlock, since the Grox can still attack you during that time. Oh, and there was a slight pause, and I saw the shots from the Grox ships, but they didn't hit us, and we're still going. Almost there. Pause to zoom in, and we made it. Completing Spore from cell stage to the center of the galaxy sped up in 14 minutes and 48 seconds. And just for fun, here's the Galactic Core cutscene also sped up to 10 times speed, warping through the wormhole at ludicrous speeds. And the dialogue is still not sped up, and we'll get both Steve voices overlapping when we get past the wormhole section. And there's Steve. The speed affects the frame rate of the game, and makes Steve float around all crazy. And there's the Staff of Life, and now we head back out, and Steve is still talking after the cutscene is finished. And here's our run split times compared to the regular record. We got almost half the total time. And here's the timeline. We got a completely green shaman run this time. This was a really fun, but mentally taxing speedrun. So let me know what you thought of this run, and let me know what else you'd like me to try in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Kingly Valence, and I'll see you next time.